white people were the first to formally put an end to slavery.
Like how
In 1833, Britain was the first.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a baby girl in the building. Today I'm here with Wendy. Today we'll be doing a reaction to a story of the slavery by Candace Owens. So if you want to see this video, don't go anywhere. For the newbies, you know what to do. Smash the subscription button to join the family. So without saying much, let's quickly go right to this video.
And now for a brief history of slavery. Here's the first thing you need to know. Slavery was not invented by white people. It did not start in 1619 when the first slaves came to Jamestown. It existed before then.
So we heard.
It did not start in 1492 when Columbus discovered the New World. In fact, when the intrepid explorer landed in the Bahamas, the native Taino tribe hoped that he would help them defeat their aggressive neighbors, the Caribs.
Wow.
The Caribs enslaved the Taino and, on occasion, served them for dinner. Slavery existed in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. The word slave actually comes from the Slavs of Eastern Europe. Millions of them, all white by the way, were captured and enslaved by Muslims in the 9th century and later by the Ottoman Turks.
Wow.
Slavery existed when the Roman Empire controlled the Mediterranean and most of Europe from the 1st through the 5th centuries. Slavery existed when Alexander the Great conquered Persia in the 4th century BC. It was so common that Aristotle simply considered it natural. The slave master model was just how the world operated in the great philosopher's day. Slavery existed during the time of the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. As far back as we can go in human history, we find slavery. As renowned historian John Steele Gordon notes from time immemorial, slaves were a major item of commerce. As much as a third of the population of the ancient world was enslaved. Here's the second thing you need to know. White people were the first to formally put an end to slavery.
Like how
In 1833, Britain was the first country in the history of the world to pass a Slavery Abolition Act. They were quickly followed by France, who in 1848 abolished slavery in her many colonies. Then, of course, came the 13th Amendment in the United States Constitution. After centuries of human slavery, white men led the world in putting an end to the abhorrent practice. That includes the 300,000 Union soldiers, overwhelmingly white, who died during the Civil War. Now, am I saying that this makes white people better than anyone else? Of course not. My purpose here is to simply tell the truth, and the truth is that human history is complicated. No one, regardless of skin color, stands guiltless. Yet today we are never told to consider the murderous Persian Empire or the cannibalism of indigenous tribes of North and South America or the heinous actions under the imperialistic Muslim, Chinese, Mongol, or Japanese empires, to name just a few. Instead, we're told that slavery is a white phenomenon. And like all persistent lies, this lie spawns a bunch of other lies. On social media, I come across extraordinary depictions about how Africans lived like pharaohs before Europeans came and laid waste to their paradise. I wish any of this were true, but it's not. It's fantasy. The truth is that Africans were sold into slavery by other Black Africans, and in many cases, sold for items as trivial as gin and mirrors.
Wow.
Whites didn't go into the interior and round up the natives. They waited on the coast for their Black partners to bring them Black bodies. The stark reality is that our lives had very little value to our ancestors. Here's the third thing you need to know. If you think slavery is a relic of the past, you're wrong. There are some 700,000 slaves in Africa today, right now. That's the lowest estimate that I could find. Other sources say there are many more. For context, that's almost twice as many slaves as were ever brought to the United States. Child soldiers, human trafficking, forced labor, these are the conditions that currently exist within the same sub-Saharan region where the transatlantic slave trade originated. African bodies are being sold today like they were sold then. And no, they are not being purchased by any country of white men. In fact, slavery, by any traditional definition, is exclusively practiced today within non-white countries. But we hear almost nothing about that. Just like we hear nothing about how slavery was universal until good people in Europe and America ended it 2 centuries ago. Why? Because our so-called leaders, black and white, wouldn't profit from it. Black victimhood is nothing if not profitable. It elects politicians and funds racial grievance groups. And if Black Americans began to view themselves as partners in the American dream, if we embraced the patriotic spirit that holds all men are created equal, the patriotic spirit that is our real heritage, then the race hustlers would soon be out of business. And who wants that? I'm Candace Owens, author of Blackout for Prager University. Thank you for watching this video.
Wow. Oh my god, this is...
Okay, it is very informative and at the same time disturbing.
I'm telling you, because I don't understand how we sell ourselves for as low as a mirror. Like, mirror, come on.
Make it make sense.
I don't understand. And everything she just explains here is trying to inform us that all the stories we've heard back then as a child, they're all lies. How possible is that?
Well, it's actually possible because if you remember in the Bible, when the Egyptians took the Israelites as slaves, yeah, that's a typical example. You get? So it's not like it's a white man. I don't believe it's really a white man thing. Well, she didn't explain it in detail, so we can't really say it's solely the whites that actually fought for the abolition of slavery. So we can't.
This is actually so, like, I don't know. So I don't know how true everything she made mention here is. I don't know how true it is, but to some extent, I know there's a bit of truth to what she said. And it's a pity that we are the ones actually harming ourselves the most. It's so sad. Like, I wish we can all like stand together. All this won't actually happen to us. If all the blacks are united as one, we won't be having these issues of slavery or no slavery actually.
Well,
the unity is not there.
Exactly.
The unity is not there. So
exactly. And you know, when we have different cultures, we have different languages.
Yeah, the tribes,
they come into play. And we are all blacks, but for the fact that someone is practicing something different than you feel, okay, he's not meant to be my equal, or the person is inferior to me.
You're guessing it, right?
The person will have to be sold. You don't value the person. So I think that the problem stems from that. So if we can eradicate that that mindset of division and making people feel inferior, less of us and stuff like that. So nobody is superior. We are all the same, regardless of our differences.
We're all the same. I don't know. That's just our thoughts about this, and this is the end of this reaction. If you love this video, do give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I'll see you all in my next one. Love you all so much. Bye.